Hi everyone. I wanted to talk about the grammar diagnostic that you did on the first day of class because I think some of these mistakes are common mistakes that students make, and I want you to look out for them when you're writing your first draft for your first essay, which is due on Tuesday, October 2nd. So there was a paragraph that I gave you with 5 mistakes, and I gave you the mistakes, the type of mistake and how I wanted you to correct it. So let's just go over it. In the first sentence, besides being good for the planet, riding a bike good for your healthy. So there are 2 mistakes right in that first sentence. The missing be verb, you need to correct it by adding is. Riding a bike is good. So before the adjective good, we need the be verb. And the second mistake, the part of speech problem, is changing the adjective healthy to the noun health. So the corrected sentence would read, besides being good for the planet, riding a bike is good for your health. The third mistake is a verb tense problem, which we find in the third sentence. So we can skip over that second sentence. There's no problem with that. By riding your bike to school or work every day, you are getting an amazing workout. I'll read you the third sentence as it's written in the box. Your lungs are breathe in fresh air and working hard. Your legs are pumping your pedals up and down, which exercises your muscles. So within this quite long sentence, we have the verb tense problem and we have a comma splice. Let me talk about the verb tense problem first. It says, directions tell you correct this mistake with the present progressive. So we have the present progressive is formed by the be verb, which here is are, your lungs are, and we have your lungs are breathe. So we have the base form breathe. That's not enough to form the present progressive. That's a grammatical mistake there, be verb plus the base form. So let's change the base form to the progressive form, which is ing. You need to notice for spelling, we have to drop that final E in breathe. So the correction would be your lungs are breathing. Drop the final E, B-R-E-A-T-H-I-N-G, because we don't want to have 2 vowels next to each other. So there's a spelling rule for you to practice there. Other common verbs like that, we have lots of verbs in English with silent E at the end, like write. W-R-I-T-E. When it becomes an ing form, we drop the E. W-R-I-T-I-N-G. Okay, so that fixes the verb tense problem. The comma splice, let me talk about that a little bit. Splice means to put 2 things together. So a comma splice is when you're connecting 2 independent clauses, 2 sentences which can stand alone. You're connecting them by a comma, and a comma is not strong enough to connect 2 independent clauses. So we call this mistake a comma splice. And did you find where it was? It's right after working hard, there's a comma, and then we start with a second subject, your legs. So the first subject of the first part is your lungs. We've corrected it to your lungs are breathing in fresh air and working hard. Right there is one complete thought, one independent clause. Your legs are pumping your pedals up and down, which exercises your muscles. So the directions told you correct this mistake, this comma splice mistake, by adding the word and. And notice, don't get rid of that comma and don't move it anywhere else. Leave the comma where it is. So we have working hard, comma, and your legs are pumping your pedals up and down. That gives us a correct compound sentence. We'll talk about fanboys, but just as a reminder, the fanboys are the words that we use to connect independent clauses to make compound sentences. And is one of those fanboys. Should I see if I can remember what they all are? For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Fanboys. You probably learned that in an earlier class. So now we've corrected both of those mistakes, and now the sentence is okay. That comma before which should stay there. Your legs are pumping your pedals up and down, comma, which exercises your muscles. That action, it's a little extra idea there, the which exercises your muscles. It's fine to add on that piece of information with a comma and the relative pronoun which. Okay, let's move on to the last mistake here, which was spelling. Correct the misspelled word. Did you find it? The misspelled word was your. The way it was written on the original was the contraction you plus r becomes the contraction your. The confusing thing is the pronunciation is the same. The contraction your or the possessive adjective your. Pronunciation is exactly the same. The spelling is different. What we want here is the possessive adjective your, Y-O-U-R, no apostrophe, no E. And here we're talking about health that belongs to you, your overall cardiovascular health. Some people might not have been familiar with that long and technical word. Cardiovascular just refers to the health of your heart. Cardiovascular, and your circulatory system, your blood, everything that pumps the blood through your body, we call your cardiovascular system. So the correction there is your overall cardiovascular health will be improved by riding your bike. Some people corrected improved by dropping that final D. That D there is correct. We could describe it as an adjective, an ED adjective, or as a passive voice. Kind of same difference there, but that D needs to be there. Okay, that's my explanation of the diagnostic. Think about these types of problems or mistakes as you're writing your first draft. Missing be verb, problems with parts of speech, problems with verb tenses, problems with using commas where without a fanboys, or where it would be more appropriate to have a period or a semicolon, and always checking for your spelling, especially those commonly misspelled words or common mistakes, like words that sound the same. Your, its. Be careful that you're using the correct form. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Send me any questions that you have. I will also post this original document if you want to download it and look at it on your own. All right, thanks.